Guten Tag, and welcome to the Berlin World News. I am your host, Max von Richthofen today, and as you all know, the big news this week has been, of course, the Berlin Conference. And we've been meeting with the delegates of the conference, and today we have the delegates from Belgium who are doing their part in trying to get as much land as they can out of Africa. And with us today we have Joe, who is an expert on the recent history of the Congo prior to colonization. Joe, how are you?
I'm very good. How are you?
You know what? I'm doing good. And I was reading beforehand, before you came, that this land that you guys want is massive. It's a very big part of the continent of Africa. But I never knew it existed beforehand. I mean, I'm sure most of our viewers never knew where the Congo is or what exactly we're talking about. So first off, let me ask you, where is the Congo in Africa?
The Congo is a very large territory in the middle southern part of Africa, which runs really close to the Congo River.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't there isn't most of it within the land and there's only a small little sliver that comes out and touches the water?
Yes, that would be correct.
Now, was this land really known before this week at the conference? I mean, do many Europeans know about this?
No, not many Europeans know about the Congo, actually, not until recently.
Okay, and what happened that was recently?
Recently there was an explorer by the name of David Livingstone who took an expedition very far into the Congo and found a lot about it, but at first he got lost.
He got lost?
Yes.
How did he get lost?
I don't know. It's a very tricky place.
Oh, I thought it was just all desert down there.
That's what most people thought, but there's a lot of forest, and there's a river and lakes, and there are many people living in that area.
Well, that's surprising. I sure did not know that until right now, that there's actually trees in that part of Africa. So go on, I'm sorry.
Yes, well, it wasn't until Henry Morton Stanley took an expedition to find him, and he found him and brought him back, and they was when we first learned about all of the territory down there.
And what about the territory did you learn?
We learned about all the resources that were there. There is claimed to be rubber and a lot of sources of ivory as well. A lot of natural resources that could be very used for very interesting things.
Now, should you really be saying this outside of the conference, and maybe other people are going to start wanting this land? But, so if Livingston, correct? Livingston was his name? So if Livingston was the first, major explorer, or explorer of the Congo, wasn't there other people that followed him?
Not many after Henry Morton Stanley.
What about Stanley? I mean, you just...
He was probably the biggest explorer, but not the first. He was probably the most well-known explorer of the Congo.
What did he do that Livingston didn't do?
He actually traveled farther up to the Congo than Livingston ever made. 2 times after he found Livingston, which he founded even more and more land of the Congo.
Now, it's good that you talked about him, because you know what, coming up next, we actually have, you guessed it, our British-Belgian companion, Henry Morton Stanley, with us today, and he is going to be talking with us about his part and what he explored and what he saw. You know, Joe, it was a pleasure meeting you.
Pleasure.
And I hope we don't get in a war together or anything like that, because if we do, I will be very sad, because I'm sure you people are very nice.
Yes.
We'll be right back.
Hello there. My name is Thomas, and let me tell you something. I got myself here some great Belgian rubber. And that's not any kind of rubber. This rubber comes from the Congo.
Welcome back to Berlin World News. Now we are here with someone I was really looking forward to interviewing all day long. I was telling the kids about it, I was telling the dog about it, I was even telling the mailman about that before he showed up, and I wrote it everywhere. I'm sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. Henry Morton Stanley. Henry Morton Stanley is an expert in exploring Central African rivers and colonies and making treaties with the locals. Henry, how are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
I was good, but Your voice for a male seems a little high.
I'm just like getting over a cold. I got back from the Congo a few weeks ago. It's pretty sickly down there. So let's just move on from that.
Okay, with all means, pleasure. You are the expert in it. So, Henry, what have you done recently?
Well, King Leopold II laid out plans for me and hired me, he's from Belgium, to go down into the Congo and explore it. So while I was down there, I convinced the Congolese chiefs to give up some of their lands in exchange for uniforms and alcohol. And I'm using this land, this land of the Congo, to try and receive international recognition.
Well, why does the king, what is his plans for this? I mean, he hired you for a reason. Why?
Well, specific significant contributions have been made while we were down there. He wanted to study some of the Africans. He also wanted to do research down there in biology and physics and human sciences, which while I was down there, I took very good documentation of all the things that we've been doing, and I have a short clip if you'd mind.
Oh, well, sure.
Show it.
We would love to get Danke. Thank you.
Day 58 in the African Congo. I'm here with my African friend, Mio, and we are studying these plants.
That was a very good video. I especially like that one. Now, what else have you done? I hear it is kind of very difficult, because as of our previous guest, Joe, he told us that, in fact, the Congo is not the desert that, at least I'm used to seeing. There's no line, no Serengeti. It's all trees. So, what I want to know is, how do you get around? How do you navigate that if it's all jungle?
Well, being that I'm one of the first ones to go down there, I'm not the first, but...
As we learned.
Yes. But I have used a lot of my mapping skills to map out the geography of the Congo River and the rest of Africa, which I know will be useful for not only the Belgians when they want to specifically section off the Congo, which they are after, but to also help the other countries to help them separate their land as well.
And now you said to help out the other countries. That is something we have not heard. We had France in here yesterday, and before that we had England, and whew, let me tell you something about those two. But you said helping out other countries. What do you mean by helping out other countries?
Well, even though the Congo is in the heart of Africa, Belgium is only interested, and King Leopold is only interested in the Congo, and that is it. So it's leaving a lot of these other lands to go to separate countries. We're not asking for more than one territory, just one territory, and that is the Congo.
Huh. And now you said, do you have any documentation? I heard you brought in some with you, so I was just wondering, would you have a video perhaps or something of your expeditions of mapping out the Congo?
I do. Would you like to take a look?
Of course I will. Where am I? Any sense? Hi, Stanley. Where am I? Ah, okay, thanks, mate. That was a really good video too. I can't believe that you actually was able to go down and do all that with the conditions that you were in. Well, anyways, now before we end, because we're running low on time with this interview, but will you explain to me the international? See if I got the name right. The International African Society. What is that?
Well, it was created to learn more and explore and exploit African countries, specifically the Congo. The goal of King Leopold II of Belgium was to civilize the Africans, which I have a short clip of that too, but which we can watch at the end. But
let's go ahead and watch it now.
No. Look at the uncivilized African man confused by the video camera. The International African Society set up the Anglo-Belgian Rubber Company, which collected raw materials and uncommon resources like rubber and the ivory to use as products here in Europe. So that these are all contributions that the Belgians have made down in the Congo prior to this conference.
And let me tell you, you guys are doing a wonderful job. I had a friend who went down there the other month, and he was absolutely amazed at how well you guys keep your guests' hotels. I mean, I hear they're better than the French, and it is impossible to find a good bathroom in France.
Right.
So you said they had that video, so let's go ahead and take a look at that video.
Well, thank you for having me.
Hi, I'm representing Stanley. I was supposed to trade or something. I got you this paperclip thing.
Oh, thank you. Here, this map will guide you.
Oh, thanks, mate. I can't wait to try it out.
Welcome back to World News. We are now going to go live in the field up in Brussels, Belgium, with our dear friend Katia Datsjuk, who is going to be interviewing the king, Leopold II, over his claims of why he believes that the Belgian people should own Africa. Katia, can you hear us?
Hi, my name is Katia, and I am here with King Leopold of Belgium. King Leopold, I'm wondering what your argument is for the validity of Belgium's claim over the Congo.
Well, the country doesn't actually really want the Congo so much as I actually want it. My plan for the Congo is I want to create a free state where all the European nations can go and trade freely. And I think that it is a prime place for manufacturing and especially the rubber industry. We can do so much with the rubber industry. But that's why. We were there first. We've worked with them the most. We've helped them out already. I mean, heck, we're even going to get them education.
Well, thank you for being here today. It has been a pleasure to interview you.
Alrighty, and thank you, Katya. That was a good interview. King's looking good for his age, don't you think?
Yeah, sure is.
Alright, well, hey, this is Klaus. Klaus is a political analyst for Belgian ruling and foreign countries expert. Klaus, roll skates. People have been wondering, are there any benefits that these countries, foresee in their future? And for naturally, you seem to be going mainly after the Congo area, so are there any benefits you see coming out of Belgian rule in the Congo?
Yeah, of course. I mean, in the Congo, the people, they're uncivilized, they don't have religion, they don't have structure. And when we go in there, we plan to bring structure and good things to them. They're going to be citizens. They're not going to be these Indians running around pretty much. I mean, if you relate it to the New World, they're not going to be that. They're going to be regular people like you and I. They can even talk to each other if they want.
Well, that would be excellent. I hear it's impossible to have a conversation.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot better. Plus, there's going to be benefits to Belgium. I mean, they're going to be importing massive amounts of rubber and ivory. I mean, that's what we foresee. We're not sure. I mean, it's all speculation, but that is what the direction is looking like. So when that happens, it's just going to bring wealth and great things to Belgium.
You know, for a thriving new nation, that sounds like something fantastic. Have you ever had a chance when you've been out to Belgium that you have foreseen, anything?
Don't let Leopold have Congo!
Are there any detriments that you see to Belgian rule in the Congo?
Well, one of the things that we might be seeing is disease. We're not sure of that because, in the heart of Africa, disease might spread. They haven't been introduced to many of the European disease. I mean, they were at first when the exploring was taking place, but there might be some disease. We're thinking that the people are going to treat them well. We're not sure about this because,
What people?
When the Belgians go into the Congo. When they meet the Congo people. We're thinking they're going to treat them pretty well, but we're not sure. There might be something about them cutting each other's hands off and mass killing and putting them in cages. That probably won't happen. But, I mean, it's 1885. We can't tell for the future.
Thank you for joining us here on Belgian World News. I am Max von Richthofen, wishing you all a very good evening.